If you live with chronic illness or pain or disabilities, then this video is for you. You understand, you know firsthand how challenging it can be at peace with your body, to feel comfortable in your body, sometimes even to be able to access joy in your body because of what you're navigating with illness or disability or pain. So, about 10 years ago, I used to do a form of blogging I called it naked blogging. And for me, that was my term for, hey, I'm just getting real and raw and honest with the reader. And this is a throwback to that same energy. And let's call it naked vlogging, okay? So I have hit record. I am not going to edit this video. I'm not going to chop it up. I am just here talking to you about a little bit of my own journey with chronic illness and pain, some of the things that I've learned along the way, some of the tools that have helped me. And then I'm going to invite you to connect with me about what you're experiencing as well. So I was diagnosed with PCOS in 1997, which, if you don't know or you're unfamiliar with it, it is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which, just long story short, it is an endocrine disorder. So it has a lot to do with your hormones. It can affect your fertility. It can impact your body size. PCOS affects a lot of things. We're not even going to get into that today, but there are a lot of symptoms and side effects that I have because of living with PCOS for 20 plus years. And then in 2015, I was also became aware of thyroid dysfunction as well, which is an extension of PCOS. I told you it screws up a lot of things in your body. So I have been living in a body that is not, quote unquote, according to society, healthy, right? I have been navigating, chronic illness, chronic pain, a lot of different things. So I understand how that can feel. And what I want to talk to you about today is just where I'm at with my journey, so that you can understand that you are not alone. Also, so that you can understand that it is possible to not be at war with your body, but sometimes you can be hella frustrated, right? So when I say not at war with your body, to me, that means not actively waging war or directing negative energy towards my body because it's not doing what I wanted to do, being what I wanted to be, performing the way I wanted to perform. And I lived that way for a really long time. I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 17. That's like at the height of when you're sort of developing like your self concept, your body concept. You're already going through all the hormonal things, right? And so being diagnosed with a chronic illness that was directly connected to my hormones was wild. It was a lot. So I was like very angry with my body. I did wage war against my body in a lot of different ways. Some of that showed up as like food restriction because of the PCOS. It affected my body size, and I was getting a lot of negative feedback, should I say, from the world, from doctors, from people in my family. Just people all around me had things to say about my body size as a teenager. Some of the other symptoms that show up from PCOS are things like you have hyperpigmentation, so you have dark skin around your neck. You have male male type hair growth. And I'm a person who identifies as femme. So that was counterproductive to my identity as a feminine being. So that meant that I was like growing a lot of body hair, growing facial hair, like all those different things were going on. And I was pissed with my body. So that meant I was doing anything that I could do to change it. Anything. So, extreme restriction with food. I did all kinds of diets. I was doing extreme fitness. I, at one point, and this is a warning for anyone who maybe have struggled with this, and I'm going to talk a little bit about extreme fitness, is that, I would wake up in the morning at like around 6:30ish, do like a 45-minute intense workout in my gym, in my complex, and then go about my day, and then come back in the evening and do another 45-minute workout. Now, to some people that seems like, oh, well, that's your norm and that's okay. But for me, the motivation behind it and the energy that I had behind it was not okay, because especially in the evening, I would go and weigh myself on the scale and see how much I weighed, go do my workout and come back and weigh myself again. And then it seemed like normal. But now, knowing what I know about bodies, knowing what I know about science, knowing what I know about food and body movement and all of that, your body is not going to fluctuate like that in 45 minutes. It's not going to change, like the number on the scale is not going to change like that. But that's how obsessed I was with getting my body to be something different, because I was so angry that my body was ill, and it wasn't like all the other young women, because I was much younger, much younger than all the other young women that I saw around me. I wanted to be desired by other people. I wanted to be admired by other people. I often heard comments of, oh, you have a pretty face. Heard that all the time, which was like totally negating anything below here as having any type of worth or beauty, right? It was all up here. And I learned to define myself by that. So I understand what it is to have that disconnection from the body. That's what waging war on my body looked like for me. And I did it for a long time. Even in the language and the way that I talked to my body and talked about my body, it was a form of war, right? So, I spoke negatively, not in front of other people, because I portrayed a sense of confidence, faux confidence to others. But in my own time alone, how I thought, the words that I thought, the things that I thought about my body, it was war. There was no love involved. It was all war. So when I say not choosing war and choosing peace, for me, that means choosing not to do that, right? Not to be actively trying to punish my body because I'm pissed with it, or not to be actively trying to change my body because I'm angry with it, or even trying to, even a sense of internalized ableism. So what does that mean? Expecting that my body should be able to perform at a certain level when it was not capable and still is not capable of a lot of that. So you might have a different concept of body war. It can look different for you. I'm not a type of person that prescribes the same thinking to everyone. I don't believe in that. But I would invite you to think about maybe ways in which body war has shown up for you. Maybe ways in which you direct negative energy towards your body. Maybe ways in which you punish your body. Maybe not consciously, maybe subconsciously, you punish your body for not being what you want it to be. Maybe ways in which you are judging your body or shaming your body. That could be your version of body war. So I found like holistic wellness in my early 30s. So I lived in that war for over a decade, a very long time. And when I found holistic wellness, which just simply means taking care of your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being, through all different sorts of tools, right? So when I learned that that existed, it was sort of like, oh, okay, what's this? Because I had spent so much time like hyper focused on what my body couldn't do, what it wasn't, all the things that I was pissed at it about, that I wasn't even thinking about the rest of me, right? I wasn't thinking about like my mental health, my emotional health, spiritual to some degree. But most of my energy and time was directed towards my body. So my change started happening when I discovered holistic wellness, and it was like, oh, wait, I can start like taking care of myself, showing myself more love and compassion. It just ushered in a shift in the energy and perspective. And so it was like, man, the doctor that introduced me to holistic wellness was like, how long are you sleeping at night? And do you have supportive community? Do you have things that you love to do? Have you ever tried yoga? Do you have any sort of spiritual practice? And I was just like, what does this have to do with my body? Because I am here to fix my body. I am here to fix the problem because my body is the problem. So, let's get to that. And she's talking about all these other things. I'm like, that doesn't have shit to do with my body, okay? I just want to fix that, because if I can fix my body, then all these other things will fall into place. That was my approach. Is what I thought. And maybe you have thought the same thing, right? Like maybe in the past, maybe right now, you've thought that if I could just, fix ... about my body, whether it is your size, your weight, something about your appearance, your hair, your teeth, your whatever. If you could just fix that, then everything else would be good to go, and you would be happy, and you would have more friends. And I say that, and sometimes it can sound like, oh, that sounds shallow, but it's like, no, a lot of us feel that way, and it's okay if you have felt that way. I felt that way for most of my life. So when I was introduced to a concept of thinking of myself as more than just a body, it was like very foreign to me, yet intriguing. So thinking of the concept of, wait a minute. So rather than if I fix my body, everything else is going to get better, kind of flipping it upside down, right? Where if I pay attention to the other things in my life, maybe I'll feel better about my body. Is it going to fix my body? Maybe not. Has it completely fixed my body? No, it hasn't. I'm going to be honest. It has not. But has it shifted my life? Absolutely. It has changed my whole entire life. And the people, my family, people who have known me for years can tell you I am a completely different person than I was then. And of course, we all evolve, but I am much less angry than I was. I am not this tortured soul because I found more peace. And when you find more peace in your life, you find more power. Oof. Yes. Chills from that one. When you find more peace, you find more power. And I think that a lot of times we are chasing so many other things to get to power. We are chasing beauty to get to power. We're chasing money to get to power. We're chasing fame and all these other things to get to power. But peace can be a tool to help you get to that power that you're seeking in your life. It can help you experience more joy in so many other areas, because talking about that holistic perspective, right? It shifts your relationships. When you're at war with your own self, when you're at war with the very home you live in 24/7, 365, till death do you part, when you're at war with the body you're living in, you cannot be at peace. You cannot be enjoying life. I know it because I lived it. So I'm sharing this with you to let you know that you are not alone in the frustrations, the anger, the shame, the exhaustion that you feel from living with illness or chronic pain or some form of like disability, anything that puts you in this disconnection with your body. You're not alone. I still live with chronic illnesses. I am currently navigating an episode in regards to a thyroid condition that had me very it really changed my life. I'll say that for the past few years. And it impacted my energy. You know, I've been very, very tired for years. By years, I say like about 2 to 3 years. This has also impacted my physical abilities. You know, I have very limited time that I can be active. A lot of things that I can't do that I used to do. It has affected my memory. It has affected a lot of different things about my life. And one of the things that that living with illness teaches you is that you need other people. And I think I'm going to make a separate video about that because illness has taught me a lot about hyper independence. It taught me a lot about my perfectionism. I definitely used to pride myself off of being a perfectionist and high performing, a high achiever, all of those things. And you know, if you live with chronic illness, if you live with some sort of chronic pain, you know you can't be perfect. You're not even quote unquote perfect because of the fact that you live with a chronic illness, right? And what is perfect anyway? That doesn't exist when it comes to bodies. So, it taught me a lot about allowing other people to help me. It taught me a lot about moving out of isolation, learning how to share, learning how to allow myself to be loved and cared for. Chronic illness taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about my body and myself. And I will be sharing more in upcoming videos. I'd love to hear from you about how this video feels for you. If you hear your story in any of this, if this resonates, even if you don't live with chronic illness or you don't live with chronic pain, you know someone who does, because it's so prominent in our world today. So this might help you understand what someone else in your life is going through. Maybe it will help you embrace more patience and compassion with them, right? Maybe it gives you a different perspective. But yeah, I'd love to hear from you about how this lands for you. I will be sharing more of these videos. I invite you to become a part of my community space. I've always been more of a writer when it comes to things online than a video person, but I will be doing more talking and speaking about these things. And if this resonates with you, if you feel a connection with this, if this spoke to you in any way, I don't want you to miss the other things that are coming. So make sure that you join my community space or join my newsletter subscription in some way, get connected with me so that we can explore this together, because I love to learn, share, and explore things with other people. I don't believe that I'm the authority on anything when it comes to bodies. I consider myself to simply be a conduit of love and of God, and that I get the opportunity to share like this um, with other people about my experiences, my education, the things I have learned, the tools and practices that I have gathered in my life, to share them with you and to help you along your journey. However, I also know that I love, love, love learning from my community, from my clients, from the people in my spaces. So it is an exchange. So I'd love to exchange with you. Check out all the information below on ways that we can stay connected. And I'll be talking again soon. Much love.